The female who created and sold out which lot recognize as the planet's at first speech CPU has dead elderly 93. Evelyn Berezin named the unit the Information Secretariat while, in 1971, her business Redactron startup the food. She grew Redactron of 9 employees to shut to 500 and was mentioned one of the US's top leaders by Business Week Ammunition Depot in the year she sold out it, 1976. She had overconstructed one of the unique automated airline company booking system. The innovate, that match customers and accessible seats, was proven by Joint Airlines in 1962. The technique vied in the competing sword framework, advanced by US Airlines, for creature the at first of its type. In supplement, Ms. Berezin helping young pioneer some types of specific purpose computational consisting, she told how she had initially deliberate evolving an electric cash money registry but eventually opted to build which would be named as a speech CPU instead of. She told, 6% of all the human beings in the joint state who treated were secretaries. At the period we begun, that was in 1968 to 1969, no very had any desktop-type computers on that you could compose a speech processing program how a secretariat would utilize. I aware how table computers appear evident now but it wasn't so later. IBM's sale called to a speech CPU, but the car relied on switches quite rather than machine shavings, had been aimed at war machinery makers quite rather than the broad industry marketplace, and in Ms. Berezin's reason was clumsy. We were devoted to house a machine to run our framework and we knew how we had to use integration circuits since it was the just way we could do it little quite and inexpensive quite and safe quite to sale, Ms. Berezin told. Her car, that stood on 1M, 3FOOT3TO, high, displayed a keypad, tape drives, monitoring electronic equipment and a printing device. It could recording an act behind which the customer had typed, enabling it to be editable or reprinted. The unique pattern lacked a display, and quickly florid contest of a competing, the Lexitron, that did. But after versions of the Information Secretariat did involve a display. The draft almost ended in calamity. Ms. Berezin had designed to buy the processors require of Intel, that had lost in industry in 1968. But it told it was too lively behavior in orders for its RAM shavings. The decision was how Redactron had to style several of the shavings require himself and ensure the schematics to two manufacturers. Down there were future problems in a prototyping while it was put on screen in a New York inn for reporters to view. The question was how in dry weather, it was inclined to a construct up of statical power, that inflicted splashes to fly among its circuits, prevent it of work. Ed Wolf, ours chief of mechanical engineering driven a complete bucket of water supply and out of a speech to nobody throws the bucket of water supply above the entire heavy rug in the chamber. This water supply sank in the rug, that stayed dampness for 3 or 4 persons several hours, and the car treated excellently. The at first manufacture car was brought to a client in September 1971. And above the next year, Redactron sold out or leased more than rather than 770 other, eliminating demonstration units. Above the next year, consumer demand grew but the business's finance came by tension, in portion since of top concern rates and a economic downturn how intended clients requested to lease quite rather than buy its means. We were said by the banking to sell the business and they had someone they knew who was concerned, told Ms. Berezin. At the period, I was mad on it. She went to job for the buyer, the industry machinery maker Burroughs Corporate. But it proven to be an ill matchstick. I was not one of them, I said them which I mind, a noisy female they did not aware how to transactions in, she told. As, they severed and so did I. Ms. Berezin leftward the business about 1980, following that she became implicated in enterprise equity and sat on some companies' boards up proper implicated in Rocky Stream College. One of the left Information Secretariat speech processors can be seen on screen at the Machine Store Museum in California.